Temujin was nothing more than a teenage slave, but somehow ended up the most powerful man in the world. How could this happen? Life is already hard, and being a slave makes it worse, so it's difficult to believe such a change in fortune. But this story is true. Temujin had a rough start to life, but found wild success later. And I'm not talking about him starting a successful business or getting some random luck. I'm talking about becoming something even rarer, where Temujin is the only recorded human being to have a claim to it. And what is that? He was the founder of the largest contiguous empire of all time. This teenage slave turned out to be Genghis Khan, and to achieve his stature, he had to overcome various enemies. He could not rely only on his knowledge. Taking on the world would present many new challenges to him. As a result, he used whatever or whoever was necessary, such as Persian and Chinese engineers, gunpowder, Greek fires, etc. Genghis Khan had an incredible goal, and he couldn't let his ego blind him to reality. He realized that he had to adopt new solutions and accept that what worked for his past victories was not always enough. And for us nerds, we have to accept the harsh truth that our intelligence is not always enough for success in this world. For us nerds, we tend to be academic. We're not the most physically gifted individuals, neither are we the most popular, neither are we the most exciting people per se, but we do have our smarts. So we over-rely on the straight thing it's gonna help us for our career, help us make us money, etc. Yet, when we go into the real world, we realize that our intelligence is actually not enough. And when we take a look around, we actually see a lot of less intelligent people go a lot farther than us. It doesn't make sense, right? Well, if you take a closer look at human nature, life, and history, you'll see that it actually does make quite a bit of sense. The world is a complicated and dynamic entity, and you're gonna face a lot of problems that are gonna need a variety of solutions. And intelligence is valuable, but in certain contexts. So when you over-rely on intelligence, it kind of becomes a very limiting factor in your life because you don't want to venture out into areas that don't value your intelligence as much. As a result, you just end up staying in your comfort womb where you only venture into areas that value your intelligence. Yet, that's very limiting because when you're not venturing out into uncomfortable or uncharted territory in your life, then you're not really giving yourself a chance to really discover what your full potential is. If you just keep staying in that comfort womb, then you're always gonna be living far below your full potential. And if you wanna avoid this travesty in your life, there is a way to overcome this over-reliance on intelligence. Becoming well-rounded. If you take a look at some of the more successful people in your life, you notice that they do a lot of things well. You find them to be intelligent, social, courageous, honest, etc., and many other excellent traits. And if you have to be honest and take an account of what actually makes them so successful in their own lives, you wouldn't be able to pinpoint one trait because they need all their traits to have the life that they're living. Now, the simple way to put this is that those successful people you see in your life are well-rounded individuals. And that's really key because, again, in a complicated and dynamic world, you're gonna have to be well-rounded to deal with the various challenges and be able to use your various skill sets. No one single trait is ever gonna take you where you wanna go. You have to be well-rounded so that you can adjust or adapt to life's ever-changing situations. And in the process, you're gonna get a lot more than you expect. What exactly? Well, you're gonna have a life full of various experiences where you'll attract interesting people, find countless opportunities, and then all of this is gonna turn into stories where when you're telling your friends or acquaintances all these stories, they're gonna think that you're special or unique, when in reality, you're not. But jokes aside, you're gonna turn into the type of person where you'll be able to take any of life's curveballs. Not to get too classical or corny, I can't tell the difference. If you take a look at a lot of the heroes from literature, history, and all that, you tend to notice one of the similarities amongst them. And that similarity is that they're usually well-rounded individual, and it makes sense. They develop themselves to be well-rounded with various skill sets so they can take on the world. And the same thing can happen to us. Now mind you, there's 1,000,001 ways on becoming well-rounded, but in this video, I'm going to give you the starter pack, and once I give you the little recipe for it, you can tailor it as you see fit. So I got my recipe for being a well-rounded person from Nassim Taleb, where he has more of a classical view on it, where you have the mental capacity, you have the physical strength, and the moral fortitude to take on the world. Physical strength. There's no nice way to put it. Your body and mind are connected, and when your body is faulty, your mind will be handicapped. So get fit. Now don't get super duper ripped, alright? Just fit. And then your mind will be correct. Plus, you never know when you need to rely on your physical strength and fitness. You don't want restrictions, whether playing with kids or doing fun physical activities. So make working out a priority in your life. Moral fortitude. In the modern world, morals are something that are quite in flux. So many things have changed for human societies that we're all winging it to an extent. But when you read the classics from all the golden ages from various societies like the Greek Golden Age, Islamic Golden Age, Spanish Golden Age, etc., you start seeing a similar pattern of what types of morals succeeded. And the possible reason for this is that humans at the core are the same, and we value the same core things. Understanding this helps you recognize timeless morals, and living by them will help you live a prosperous life, leading you to become a person with integrity. A person who is willing to stand by their morals, regardless of whether it leads to conflict, awkward moments, etc. And funny enough, this also shows you to be a courageous person. And we all know what a courageous life produces. So read classical literature and start developing your moral fortitude. While everyone is getting their faulty morals from social media, you're getting it from the best of what humankind has produced over the ages. Mental capacity. Alright, this is where your intelligence comes in, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But with physical strength and moral fortitude, your intelligence will play its appropriate part, leading you to become a well-rounded person. A well-rounded person that can take on the world and whatever it throws at you. Although Nassim Taleb has the core of being a well-rounded person down pat, I'm gonna add my unsolicited 2 cents. Be more social, go out every week, have a weekly social hobby, initiate hangouts. The thing is, when you put an actual effort into refining your social skills and creating a social life, you know what happens? A lot of things. A better dating life, opportunities for your career that you'd have never found out. Because the thing is, you need to realize this, guys, that whatever you want in life is attached to people. Now, I'm not here to sound, cold or strategic, but the thing is that when you're a socially sound individual, people will want to help you with your needs and wants. And funny enough, when you're more social with people in general, you'll want to be able to help them with their needs and wants. The thing is, human beings, being social is in our DNA. And if you're able to constantly refine your social skills and just be a socially sound individual, it's gonna pay dividends in the short and long term. You should have a personal mission because in the midst of your day-to-day grind, your personal mission will be your North Star. So please, go out and find it and put your heart and soul into it. You gotta remember, guys, people will come and go, opportunities will come and go, but your personal mission will always be there. Now, I understand, guys, you will have the average normal life where you have your friends, lover, career, etc. But your personal mission is there to show you that there's a lot more to life than the traditional way. And in some future video, I'll tackle the whole concept of finding your personal mission. But in the meantime, let me tackle a thought that some of you might be having. What if this is too hard and I'm comfortable being the intelligent guy? For us nerds, getting out of the comfort womb can be challenging. We're so used to being smart and thinking that that's enough. So when we try to be well-rounded, it feels foreign and challenging. And then we just quit. I've been there before, where I tried to recreate myself and stopped. But let me tell you something. You'll experience a temporary discomfort or a lifetime of misery? Let me explain. Suppose you choose to rely on your intelligence and nothing else. You are setting yourself up for a good life, but not a great one. You might get a decent job, but rarely will you get your dream job. You might have some decent friends, but rarely will you have a fun social life. You might have some exciting experiences, but rarely will you have an interesting life. Over-relying on intelligence will cut your potential short, and the worst part is, you will feel it. You will wonder why you didn't do more in life. Everybody told you how smart you were, yet you fell short of your expectations. And that personal disappointment will hurt you more than you can ever imagine. It almost feels like you wasted your potential and life to an extent. But when you choose to be well-rounded, you will feel uncomfortable for a time. You will embarrass yourself for a time. You will feel lost for a time. But the fact that you kept moving forward despite all this will add to your experience and personal story. The fact that you traverse the problematic parts of becoming well-rounded will give you added insights. As a result, you will have a deeper understanding of yourself and human nature. When I committed to being more social, all my mistakes gave me an understanding of the nuances of being social. When I committed to working out, all my mistakes gave me an understanding of their pitfalls and benefits. When I committed to reading, all my mistakes gave me an understanding of how and when reading is adequate. I can keep going, but when you choose to be well-rounded, you get a better idea of yourself and life, and this helps you navigate the world and deal with complex challenges. Yes, it's not easy, but it's only a temporary phase because you will get more comfortable dealing with all the challenges, which will only lead to a more exciting and engaging life. And hey, don't take it from me. Take it from Aristotle. Aristotle believed that you had to be well-rounded in order to have a happy life. He believed in this idea so much that he lectured about it. And those lectures are called the Nicomachean Ethics, which I'm pretty sure I just butchered that name. And in those lectures, he discusses the traits and virtues needed for a happy life. And from what I can remember, I believe there was 12 virtues/traits that were needed. However, I'm not gonna get into too much details about it since Nassim Taleb's Core of Being Well-Rounded and my add-ons pretty much covered about close to half. But if you wanna check it out, you can definitely get the book for yourself. But anyways, so the whole point with the Nicomachean Ethics is that Aristotle was showing that no one single trait was a smoking gun for a happy life. Even when he mentions that courage is the most essential trait to have, he was saying that it was the foundation for all the other traits to build on, meaning that courage alone wasn't enough for a happy life. Aristotle's advice is over 2,000 years old and has influenced numerous societies like the Arabs, Greeks, Romans, Spanish, etc. So don't go thinking that one trait is gonna be the one that's gonna help you elevate to whatever level you're trying to reach. Become that well-rounded person that all these classical works have been telling us for centuries. That being said, there is a simple mistake that we need to avoid in this process. And that mistake is us nerds going overboard on that improved part of ourselves. Because when we improve that one part of ourselves and then we start seeing results, whether that's more attention, more opportunities, we start thinking that that's the single trait that we need for success. And funny enough, we end up making the same mistake of over-relying on one trait. Instead of it being intelligence, it's that other trait. And mind you, it's an honest mistake because when you improve that one part of your life and you get new results that you've never seen before, it can be quite intoxicating and you can't help but feel that that's what you need to find success or whatever. But that being said, it's a very easy mistake to fix. All you have to do is just remind yourself that there's no one single trait that will be the key to your success. It's all about becoming well-rounded. And when you commit to that, like I said numerous times in this video, you'll be able to take on the complex and dynamic challenges that come your way. Quick story. When I committed to working out, I became ripped. People were amazed by my transformation from a skinny kid to one that had excellent muscle definition. My friends started working out because of me. I started getting more attention from girls. Seeing all these positive results made me think that being ripped was the only way to get things I wanted in life. So I became obsessed with my workout schedule, diet, supplements, etc. It was a full-time job for me. And then slowly, I was losing the attention I was getting from others. My friends stopped caring how great I looked. Girls started to see I was just another needy boy. And in the end, I was left with the same problems I had when I only relied on my smarts. The same cycle happened with reading, where I found some new results, but then they dried up later. I was again dealing with the same problems I originally had. And I learned that the hard way, but you don't have to. So pursue being well-rounded from the get-go, and trust me, you're gonna create a fun and exciting life. And to make this video just a little more fun and exciting, let's hop onto the summary. Intelligence is not enough for personal success since the world is complicated. Being well-rounded will help in tackling the various problems you face in life. By becoming well-rounded, you will live an interesting and exciting life. You become well-rounded by being fit, having moral fortitude, having mental capacity, being social, and having a personal mission. It's comfortable being the smart one, but refusing to become well-rounded will lead to not living a great life. Aristotle mentions a dozen traits for a man to live a happy life, and he doesn't over-rely on one. A simple mistake is to over-rely on a new and improved part of yourself, but this leads to a similar error as over-relying on intelligence. Well, that was a very long video, and the reason for that is because this is a very important topic. In this day and age, it's so easy to get caught up thinking that we need that one trait, especially with all these ads and influencers telling us that that one thing will make all the difference. And it's so hard not to fall for it. Yet, when you choose to become well-rounded, you will see the world as a place to conquer. Yes, there's gonna be challenges and problems, but just like Genghis Khan, you will use the necessary knowledge to overcome all of them. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you again for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my newsletter, share this video, and guys remember, you're not just any type of nerd, you're a charismatic nerd.